New blog 20. Yeshua got up and addressed the crowd. There was a farmer who sowed good seed in the field, he said. Then in the night his enemy came and sowed tares in that field. What should the farmer do? He does nothing, but let the wheat and tares grow up together, because he knows he would also harm the good seedlings if he tried to get rid of the bad. Then, when it came to harvest time, he told his servants to gather up the good wheat and store it, but to also gather up the tares and burn them. Sowing good shall bring forth goodness and joy. Sowing evil shall bring forth evil and pain. We have the way to know the difference. It is our nature to love what is good and which brings us joy, to hate what brings us pain. It is obvious even to a child. But when the deviousness of the enemy makes us confused, even the simplest truths become hard for us to see. Therefore, strive to become pure and simple as a child, and once again it becomes easy to turn the evil one away and welcome the sweet happiness that is our true birthright. The Pharisees had stopped to listen also, but I heard a sneering in some of their low-spoken comments. There were more of them coming into the far side of the square, making noise. The possessed dumb and blind man went before them, as though they were driving him into the square. The crowd parted to get away from him, which pushed the unhappy individual further towards where Yeshua stood. Crouched there, the tormented man seethed with menace, the demonic quality of which made him almost totally unapproachable. The Pharisees formed a wide arc behind him. Yeshua was to his front. We all watched, rooted to the scene. Yeshua stepped forward, and the possessed man cowered more. The master closed his eyes and held out his hands, as though blind himself. "Come out of him," I heard him say. "Leave this man to himself. You have no business here." I swear it was as if I saw a great shadow rise about the crouching man, towering high, menacing the master. Yeshua took another pace forward, eyes still closed. "Leave this place," he said. "I command you by the word of life. Go from here, back to your own realm. Go and leave this man in peace." Even as he spoke these last words, he had reached the blind dumb man and touched him with his hands, one on his shoulder and the other on top of his head. There was a kind of shudder in the air about them, or so it seemed to me, like a dagger stroke that divided the shadow from its victim, forcing it away. There was a loud cry, and I wasn't certain where it came from, but then another that was certainly from a watching Pharisee. "See you people," his words were almost a scream. "See how this Yeshua commands his own devils. He is the one that creates these devils and now sends them away. By the power of Lucifer he does these things. Have nothing to do with this devil in human form." "Aye," cried his comments in an echo. "He said he is in league with these fiends, and that is why they do his bidding. He is the very heart of evil, come to plague us. Let us drive him out of our town." Yeshua said nothing, but bent low to the man in front of him, holding his head between his hands and bowing his own head close to that of the dumb blind man. No one moved, and even the Pharisees were caught into the intenseness of the moment. The master whispered in the man's ear, and lifting him up, he kissed the man's closed eyelids. "Open your eyes," he said, "for you can see, even as you can hear me speak. Open your eyes, for that which oppressed you and turned you to hide away has gone. You are free again. You are free to see, to hear, to live again." The man straightened up and opened up his eyes, blinking. Yeshua put an arm around his shoulder and led him to where Lama stood nearby, then turned and spoke directly to the Pharisees. If I do these things by the power of all that is evil, then certainly that kingdom will crumble, being divided upon itself. But if I do this by the power and will of God, then you should understand that his kingdom is at hand, and make yourselves ready to receive it." The faces of the Pharisees said it all. They were livid with fury, but could find no way to attack him. Most of the people in the crowd, however, had made up their minds and had had quite enough of these Pharisees and their disruptive unpleasantness. They turned on them and drove them away.